We are celebrating at home. We're staying in and just enjoying family time with a little bit of Disney food. We are pumped. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be great. We all picked some of our most favorite things to eat in Disney World, in all of Disney World. There's so many things, so we picked out a few that we thought we'd try to make ourselves, and so far, major success. So one of the first things we wanted to make was the Ronto Wraps that you can find in Galaxy's Edge and Star Wars in Hollywood Studios. So we looked at several different recipes, so we kind of came up with our own. So here we go. So the first thing was the pita bread. Let me grab a plate. So the first thing was the pita bread. Wanted to wrap that up in there. Then a little bit of coleslaw goes down on the bread. And of course we made our own coleslaw, which is fine. You can do any kind of coleslaw you prefer. You just like pickled vegetables or whatever you want to do. A little bit of coleslaw. A hot dog, we did regular all beef hot dog. And the white sauce that they do, I lost my spoon, so let me pull a spoon. Sorry about that. A spoon is a white cream sauce. There's several recipes online for that one. So we just chose one. This is actually a white cream sauce that I found online called Bob's White Cream Sauce, famous in Alabama. So we decided to make that one. And then just a squirt of mustard. And there is your Ronto wrap.
So easy.
So easy. And we've been told so far, because our men ate it, that it's really, really good. Next up is poutine. We found this in Disney Springs. It's a nice little booth right outside one of the major stores in Disney Springs. That's an understatement.
World of Disney.
World of Disney. And so it's right outside there. And of course they top them with all kinds of things. The original poutine is hot French fries, cheese curds, which is just the soft part of the cheese they pull off on top when it's settling to harden. So you just sprinkle that on top. If your fries are really hot, it's nice because they warm up and it'll melt the cheese. So you just top it with as much cheese or as little cheese as you like. This is a very mild cheese as well, so it's very easy on the palate. And then of course, an original thick homemade brown gravy. You can use a gravy mix, of course, if you like. The hotter the better. Pour it on top of the fries.
Oh, I'm ready. This looks so good.
We were told it is very good and a winner and to stay at the top of the menu for a while. So there you go with that. And there you are, one Ronto wrap and poutine from Disney Springs. And we're gonna see how wonderful this is ourselves.
Okay, we're having our first bites.
Our first bite.
I'm going for poutine.
Okay, I'm going for the Ronto wrap.
Oh.
So messy, but so delicious.
So good. I can't get a bite big enough. I want it all. Mmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I'm
What do
so
you think?
happy right now. I'm so happy.
One thing we all do well is eat well. So we are very happy with our Ronto wraps and our poutine. So give it a shot at home. If you need some recipes, look it up. It's on everything.
So
you can
easy.
find exactly what you want. Change it up.
Mm-hmm.
Make it to satisfy yourself as far as seasoning or spice. You can do that for your own family and make it, and it's still fun because it's still Disney flavored, and we love that. So enjoy.
Snack number 3 for the weekend.
Yep.
We have an obsession with s'mores, and so when we found the s'mores Pop-Tart in Magic Kingdom at Starlight Cafe, we were in heaven. So now we're gonna make our own, and it's gonna be so good. KK found the most amazing recipe.
I did.
And I think it's gonna be better than the Pop-Tart.
It's a little smaller version than the Pop-Tart. The Pop-Tart's just a pastry, of course, with the s'mores ingredients inside. It was absolutely delicious. We fell head over heels for it because it is one of our most favorite things.
Yes.
So I found a little recipe that I thought was very, very similar, but in a miniature version. So, and I found it online, of course. So, just to start with, you need some puff pastry sheets. This is just the brand I found. No big deal. It doesn't have to be that brand. I think you could probably use a pie crust if you like to make your own pastry type dough. You're more than welcome, of course, to do that. I do not. So I did that. I did put a little flour on the counter and rolled it out just a little bit to make sure that it fell over the ice tray. So you take the pastry that you've kind of flattened out just a little bit, lay it over the ice tray. You could pull it just a little bit, kind of stretch it out a little bit, give you some more rooms. Then just press your finger down in the ice tray cube hole and just let the pastry kind of give. You might want to pull it up just a little bit more like that. So you have a little more dough that's going down in the ice tray hole. There you go, just press it down. Do both sides like that. Press down. You have to move the pastry around a little bit just to make it work, but it'll eventually lay down in there. Make sure your pastry is almost room temperature. It's a little easier to work with. Okay, so when you see that that's like, it's not gonna relax all the way, but you can, as you put your ingredients in it too, you can press down a little bit more. So the next step is to put the marshmallows in. It's 2 or 3 or 4, or however many works, in the little, each little section. 1 chocolate piece, top of that, and then a graham cracker piece. So here's the tray, all nice and filled up with the marshmallows, the chocolate piece, and the piece of graham cracker. Then you take the other pastry shell and you just lay it on top. There it is with it covered. Get a knife and you can just cut off those edges. That to the side. And then we're going to take a fork and we're going to close the, actually you can just kind of pinch it like this before you put it out on your tray, your baking tray. You can use some parchment paper or foil. I suggest if you do a little foil that you put just a tiny bit of some kind of cooking spray on top of that so it doesn't stick. Just kind of press it together. Okay, so after you get the tray filled, you put it in the fridge for about 10-15 minutes, just so it'll kind of firm up together. All right, then we're just gonna flip it onto the tray that's ready to be baked. Okay, so we took it out, we turned it over. You're gonna have to tap on it a little bit until it all comes out. Doesn't come out perfect, that's okay. And then you take your fork, you're gonna go around and make a pretty little edge and mash it together. I would suggest too that you maybe could spray just a tiny bit of Pam or something like that, some kind of cooking spray in your ice tray prior to you putting the first layer of dough, or to flour that side a little more, and that will help it come out of the tray a tiny bit easier than it did this time. But this just closes the edges. We're gonna give it an egg wash. Just use any kind of little pastry brush or barbecue brush you have. Give all the edges a nice wash. They need to bake in the oven about 375 to 400, depending on your oven, of course. Sure you get the egg wash on it all. You know, for pastry dough, the egg wash is important, makes it shiny, helps it to toast up beautifully. So get it on there. That one didn't seal up quite as good as we'd like it to, but that's okay. It's our first time, so we're not gonna be too terribly picky.
Nope, and either way it's gonna taste amazing.
It might not be pretty, but it's gonna taste good. I would also suggest possibly leaving it in the refrigerator a little bit longer. It would help probably the pastry dough to become a little colder and stick together better. So there's your egg wash, a couple little suggestions already. It's gonna go in the oven between 375 and 400 for anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes. So of course, you know, when you're baking something, anytime you're baking something, I always set the timer for a lot less. Go check it. You might want to turn your pan around, or you might just want to check it, see how brown it is, because that might just be by taste. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to set the timer for about 15 minutes and then check it. So here they are. They've come out. Didn't take the whole 30 minutes. So of course, I'm figuring that depends on your oven and its ability to cook quicker or it's stronger or whatever that means. So here they are, and it says I'm gonna use this fork just to kind of hold on and give it some, but here is the,
oh man.
and they make little individual,
They're bite size.
they're bite size. There you go. Let's cut into one in the center. Let's see how they look in the center.
Yum.
There we go.
Yum.
So I think the only real way to do this is, of course, to taste it.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you going for it?
I'm going for it. It is pretty warm.
That was all pastry.
Nope.
You got some
Nice
chocolate?
little bite of chocolate.
Oh.
Wow. That's really similar to the one we ate in Magic Kingdom at the Starlight Cafe. It's of course smaller, but still absolutely delicious.